Good everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. And if you are watching this, you are watching our second episode. And my name is Precious Blackie. I am my sister's caregiver, and I would like to think that I am my sister's keeper as well. You know, we hear these words quite often. Ugochi, I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper, without really understanding what it means to be someone else's keeper. So, according to my understanding of being someone's keeper, you show up for this person when they need you. You take on responsibilities that were not meant to be yours from the beginning. And you stand side by side with this person while they are going through whatever they are going through or whatever they are faced with, but you become present. And another thing that I've noticed is that, sometimes, actually not sometimes, life gives us choices. It gives us a choice to show up or to not show up, to be present or not, yes or no. And I do believe that at times God places people and opportunities in our hands and then leave the decision on us. Ukuthi, what do you do with whatever that I've placed in your hands? And whatever we decide to do with what was placed in our hands, that is a reflection of the state of our hearts, and it is a reflection of our values as well, because I believe uh, it's a human thing to do, to show up for others, even though you are bleeding yourself or even though you are licking your own wounds. So when it seems as if showing up for my sister, or when it seems as if I did not have a choice but to show up for Unokolo, reality is I made a choice to show up for her. The very same way that we bring kids into this world and we decide to be present parents or decide otherwise. So the choice always lies with us. So I made that decision, or I made that choice regardless. But you know what, I'm gonna show up for my mother's child, and that's exactly what I have been doing. And a lot of times, if standing is the only thing that you can do, I say to you, just keep on standing, even if you don't know why you're standing or you don't know how long you should be standing, but just keep on standing. So what I would like to share during this episode is how did we get here after losing our mother. And I am going to try to summarize this, and then maybe in other episodes I will touch on other things. However, I will start in 2019. So I was going through my own personal struggles as well. My car had just been repossessed. I was going through a divorce. I was depressed, clinically depressed. And then as soon as all these things came and they were piling up on me, I think that's when my system said to me, girl, we are checking out. And then my doctor sent me to a specialist, and then I was admitted. So when everything happened, it's a human thing to do again. The first place you think of is home. So I thought of home. I told myself that at least I have a mother who is still alive, so I'm going to go home so I can rebuild my life. Off I went to Eastern Cape because I was here in Joburg, resigned in my job because I was not doing okay, I was not coping. Resigned in my job, took the kids out of school, and then we went to Eastern Cape. So when we arrive in Eastern Cape, this is July. When we arrive in Eastern Cape, I find the kids at school, and then they are secured, and then I do the up and down of dropping them off, and then go to pick them up. And with a taxi, remember, I don't have a car. So uh, on our second week of being in Eastern Cape, if not the third week, I can't remember, I got a call. It was an interview, a telephonic interview, and then I had the interview, and then everything went well. I was moved to the next stage, which is the face-to-face interview for the company that I'm currently working for. And mind you, there is so much that is happening in my life. I'm not processing anything because when you leave a marriage, whether you are the one who has filed for divorce or not, you cannot take away the fact that you need to process that. You also need to listen to that pain and sit with it. So there was no time because my kids were not being taken care of, and um, I knew that was going to happen because freedom has a price. So uh, my mother said to me, you need to go back to Joburg. I'm packing all your clothes. You are going to get that job. You're not coming back. And then what I want you to do during this time, you leave these kids with me, and then you go and heal yourself. Your children should not see you in the state. I was skinny. I was dark. I was this person who just wanted to sleep all the time because I was clinically depressed, I guess. So I packed my bags, and then I came to Joburg. I didn't even have a place to stay. I crashed with a friend, and then at some point, I needed to be on my own. Then I went to rent a back room. From being in the house to a bedroom that was even raining. But at that time, it is something that I was able to afford, or I could afford, because I was not working first of all, and I had just started working, and whatever little money that I was getting, or whatever money that I was getting, was meant to go to the kids for school fees, for food and everything, and their transport, because Mama had found them a transport to take them to school. So I stayed alone for some time, and then during my stay, I keep on going to visit the kids and then come back, visit and come back. At some point, my mother and I are talking about plans for the next plans for 2021, because now we are in 2020. And then my mother says to me, when you fetch your kids next year, you have to take Ulusana with you as well, because I don't want him to be this side. And then I agreed. So um, my kids are with her all this time. And then at some point, my mother asked me to visit the kids, and then she said, the kids are missing you, please come and visit. And then I also want to just quickly go home. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, she's referring to a Seven Fountain, because that is where we're coming from. I didn't know that this person already had an appointment with Deb. I went ahead, applied for leave, because it's the COVID time. Applied for leave, and then when I applied for leave, my leave was going to be on a Monday, which was the 13th of July. Remember, I took my kids, or I ran home on the 13th of July 2019, and then here I am again coming back home um, in July. I'm coming back home in July 2020. So July 2019, go home. July 2020, I'm coming back to visit my kids and my mother, because it's been a while. So before I left to Johannesburg, my mother told me to bring my working tools, because she would like me to stay a little bit longer if everything is working perfectly fine. So I took my work tools, and then I arrived at home. One of the things that I've noticed about Mama is that she couldn't look me in the eyes throughout our stay, or throughout that time. So we arrived, and she was saying a lot of weird things that I didn't understand at that time. But now that she's gone, I do understand what she was doing. So what happened now? So we stayed. We stayed at home, and it was Monday, Tuesday. On a Wednesday, she came with my work tools and said to me, please test if everything's working. Then I tested everything, made some calls to Joburg. Like, I tested if everything is working, all my systems are working. Everything was perfectly fine. So I told my mom that we clear, everything is good. And then she said to me, at least now I can go home. Okay. So, but I didn't take note. I'm still thinking Seven Fountain, because this person is not even sick. On a Thursday morning, when we woke up, my mother had a pain on her leg, on her left leg. So this pain kept on, like, being stronger or becoming stronger day by day till we took her to not to the hospital, to the doctor on a Sunday. She got an injection and she seemed as if she was getting so much better. And nobody's thinking hospital because, I mean, a pain on your leg that takes you to the hospital, that doesn't make sense. We thought, ah man, she worked so hard, she's gonna be fine. Including her, she was not mentioning anything about the hospital. So what happened was on a Monday. So because she was not well first, I had to let my manager know that, you know what, this is the situation I found when I got here. My mother is not doing okay. So can I work from home here? Because we're working from home anyway. Can I work from home here? And then as soon as she's better, I will report back to Johannesburg. I just wanted to be better. And then he said to me, yes, that's fine. You can go ahead. Then I started working. So my leave ended. Now it's a Monday. I started working in the back room, in my brother's room, and then I keep on doing the ups and downs, checking them during my breaks and all of that. So Monday, Tuesday, I found my mother so early in the morning with her head bowed down. And when I arrived, I asked her, what's happening? Why are you like this now, Mama? And then my mother said, oh, this leg is really painful, Banji. And then I was like, yo, I started becoming emotional because remember, this is somebody that we know as strong. She's been strong throughout, so we don't know this version of her that is losing her vitality in front of us. So it's Tuesday morning, and then I cook throughout this time. Mama was sleeping next to Nokolo as if she was nursing her for the last time. Then from there, in the evening, Nokolo gets a seizure. And at before that day, every single time when Nokolo gets a seizure, I used to run away. And and my mother as well would tell me to leave the room because I cannot stand physical pain. I'll be panicking and all of that. But now the situation didn't allow me to leave or didn't allow me to run away, but to confront it. So I went there to assist my mother with Mokolo while she was getting a seizure and also see how she was so calm. My mother was so calm when it comes to those seizures until Mokolo stops. So I was there. It was as if I am being prepared for the number of seizures that I was going to be dealing with on my own and without Umama. So we slept that night. She's still sleeping with Umapolo. The following day, which is a Wednesday, Umama calls her cousin without my knowledge and told her that she wants to go to the hospital. I don't know what else she said to my aunt, but when I came out of the room after wrapping up my shift, I found my aunt and her husband in the room with Umama there, like my aunt is dressing her up from somebody who's just experiencing a painful leg to someone who cannot even dress herself. That was Mama, and now things were becoming really worse. I don't even understand where it hurts the most. She couldn't look me in the eyes. She has not even a single sign of COVID at that time. She's not coughing, nothing. But she's just losing herself. So, and my house was so sad because we are not used to that. It was new to us. Okay, so while my aunt is dressing her up, her bag fell. My mother's bag fell from the wardrobe, and then Umama said to me, I still have that bag even now. Umama said to me, my burial stuff are in that bag. I don't want you to struggle. You don't want me to struggle. What do you mean you don't want me to struggle? You're coming back from the hospital. I didn't know that somebody had already answered the call to depart. So we took her to the hospital. I cried. We took her to the hospital and then she got admitted. And because of COVID rules and protocols, we couldn't visit her. We couldn't at all. Took her, we just kept on speaking over the phone with her. Some days she sounded like she was fighting, other days she sounded like she has lost the battle of life, and that used to worry me, or that worried me so much at that time, because you were fine yesterday and then today you don't sound like you are doing good. So she lasted in the hospital for that week, from Wednesday and then till the next week. Then the next week, on a Friday, she calls me and requests that I bring her a charger, a phone charger, because they had moved her from the ward she was in to another one, and now she left that one by mistake, and she doesn't think she would ever find it. Cool. I took the charger, wrapped up my shift, then off I went to Doranginza Hospital. When I arrived, I called her and then I told her I'm outside, but they don't want to allow me to come in. Even the security guards are not willing to take the charger and bring it to you. I've been begging and begging. And then she said to me, it's okay, Banji, you can go home. The kids need you. Okay. So while we're talking on the phone, she asked me, how is Undana? How is my baby? She referred to my daughter because she used to call my daughter Undana. And then also, before her phone died, I asked her, Mama, are you going to fight and come back home? And my mother did not respond to that. However, the only thing she said was, Ujonge umntana Bantu. And I would like to think when she said that she was referring to Ngokolo. But when she was saying it at that time, it was as if she's referring to my daughter, because they had such a tight relationship together. Okay, so I go home. It's a Friday. Her phone dies. That's the last time I spoke to Mama. Friday we go home, and then Friday I go home, and then Saturday, Sunday we don't speak to her. I cannot get hold of her. No one is answering the phone from the ward. Monday morning, I wake up, and then I had my prayer, and I remember very well. My prayer was so specific at that time. At 5 o'clock, I was so specific. Like, I needed my mother to be healed and come out of the hospital. That was the request from God. Little did I know Ukoti, her book of life has just been grabbed already. So I started my shift, and a few minutes after starting with my shift, I get a call that Umama has passed away. I can still hear, I can still remember the lady's voice. Even now, I will never forget that voice, because that is the voice that changed my life, or that is the voice that changed everything. And she called, and then she asked me, how old are you? Who are you with? And then I'm like, Sissy, can you tell me why you're calling? I was expecting maybe an ICU or maybe a coma, something, but I didn't expect death to be what she was relaying to me. So obviously I cry and all of that, but no matter how many times I cried, no matter how hard I cried, nothing was going to change. Mama was gone, and she was never coming back again. And now I started thinking, what am I going to do with every single person that I'm left with? I've got my brother, I've got my sister, I've got my kids. What am I going to do? And I think one of the most painful things was having to retell the story each and every time when somebody walked through that door. And mind you, I had never done anything that is hectic when it comes to death. It was my first time. It was my first time to do something hectic when it comes to death. Okay, so Mama passed away, and then I needed to go to the hospital to take her belongings. And the funny thing is, when I was there to take her belongings and also go and sign, I think it's called certifying somebody as dead, because I went into another room there and they stamped her ID and all of that. The funny thing is, when she was alive, I couldn't go. I couldn't even give her a charger. But now that she was gone, they opened the world for me, and then I was able to come and pick her clothes or fetch her clothes. And I wanted to ask them, what were her final words? Did she say anything? Which bed was she sleeping in? But no matter how many questions I had, they were never going to help me with anything. So I went back home and obviously I told them at work, "Ukuti, this is the situation that has happened in my life." So I was excused from work. So I was up and down. And then I went to choose a coffin for my mother. Because of COVID, funerals were very quick, in and out. It was not the normal funeral. So due to COVID, she had to be buried as quick as possible. And also we had to drive her to Seven Fountain, where her parents are, so she can be laid next to her parents. Then I had then I had one request. Uh, I spoke to the guys who were the funeral parlor guys. I asked them for a favor to please bring my mother home before the burial. So firstly we went to see her with my aunt, and I remember standing on top of her box or on top of her coffin, and I couldn't move. It felt as if like something was holding me. I don't know, my legs couldn't wait, they were shaking, uh, because I was seeing this woman lifeless. There was not a single person, when I say single person, older person, to do all the things that needed to be done when somebody has passed away. So I needed to be the one who is up and down and doing it all, which I did. So at some point we we went to so after speaking to the guys that they need to bring her home, I was coordinating the funeral. Mind you, it's as if my own pain does not matter. It's as if um, grieving for me is not an option, but I have to be on the move. So I'm coordinating the funeral. I also want to grieve because I ran from Joburg coming home for safety. I didn't know that I was coming home to somebody who has already signed a deal or who has already agreed to the book of life can be closed. I didn't know that. So I wanted to grieve as well, but grieving was not an option for me, or breaking was not an option for me because everybody else around me needed me to be strong. I remember calling one of my relatives when I was going to pick a coffin for her, and I told her that I'm alone and I don't know what to do. Like, I'm surrounded by all these coffins around me. I don't even know what to do. I had to write my mother's obituary. I had to do everything. Then we went to bury her. So the guys really honored that request. They brought her home, a Seven Fountain. So they came with the box. They just opened the car, and then my uncle was there reciting clan names. Yeah, and then from there off we went to the cemetery. So the reason why I requested that is because Omama kept on saying she wants to go home. So I thought it would be also nice to, or it would be considerate to just via home before she goes to her final resting place. Okay, that happened, and then the funeral was over, and then now I was faced with a reality. What do I do with Unokono? And then what do I do with my job? What do I do with my kids? Do I resign and come to PE, or what do I do? I didn't know. I spoke to a cousin of mine who was there at that time and asked her if she can take care of my kids while I figure out what's happening. But then again, I remembered Gucci, there is no Polo. And then a family relative, Kanokolo, from the father's side of the family, gave me a street name and gave me a name that I need to go to Soweto in this street and ask for this family. Maybe someone will point me to the house. I'm desperate. Then I did that. I went to Soweto, looked for this house in that code, finally found it. Somebody pointed me to the right house. When I arrived, everybody in that house really looked like Onankolo. So I was like, I'm in the right place. Okay, from there, they called the father. I narrated my sobbing story, narrated it, and then they called the father and told him that, oh, this is what is happening. She's here. And then I spoke to the father. He said to me, okay, I will come and pick it up. What was that? Thank you. At least someone is going to take care of it. But obviously, when one parent dies, the child falls on another one before you can think of maybe siblings. Then I was so grateful. Then I told him, could you make sure that you come early so I can show whoever is going to be taking care of Unokolo everything, right? And then he said to me, okay. I called in the morning. That morning when I was leaving, called in the morning, said it's coming at 10 o'clock. Phone rang at 12, voicemail. Then I knew that, okay, I'm on my own. My flight is at 2. I have to go back to work. I cannot afford to lose my job because I have these kids and I have to make sure that they have food on the table. Their fees are paid while I'm faced with all of this. So I told my cousin that, you know what, please stay here. Take her SASA card and stay here with her. At some point, my cousin checked out because she's young, obviously, and Umakolo's needs are so hectic. I don't blame anybody who checked out. So on my second visit of visiting, no, the first visit, I went to the kids' school because I wanted to come back to Joburg work while I'm trying to think what to do, and I'm staying in a back room, so I don't even have a home to take these kids to. So I went home, and then second, went to their schools, narrated the story. The principal understood and said, okay, you can take them out of school. They will be online. You see these kids, gap and a gap. So I took them out, and then I took my brother. Obviously, I had to take my brother as well. I took my brother, and then I squashed us all in a back room, just a back room. There's no separation of it. It's just a like free bedroom. I stuffed them there. We do everything there in that bedroom, and the bathroom was outside, obviously. So okay, so now I keep on calling home, and then when I have a chance, go and visit. My cousin checked out. We hired my mom's friend. She also checked out. We hired another lady. She checked out. So there were all these people were checking out. And to be honest with you, I do not blame any of them. I don't blame any of them. So, my aunt, can you imagine how I feel every single time when I remember this other day? I got a call and then they said to me, Unokolo is alone in the house. I had to book a flight, go home to Eastern Cape so that Unokolo can be with my aunt because I spoke to my aunt and then I told her what's happening. And then the aunt, my mom's cousin, the one who was stressing my mom before she went to the hospital, My aunt said to me, "You understand my situation. I can take her temporarily while you figure out what to do with her." I agreed. She remained. I flew back to Joburg to the kids and my job. At least she's with my aunt, but even that had to come to an end at some point. So now my brother comes to me and tells me that I don't know whether he got a call or it was a text, I don't know. But he tells me that he got whatever from my aunt's child. They were asking what is Iplenium about Snowcrawler because this was supposed to be temporary. And it was December that time. So I sat my kids down and told them that, you know what, this December we're gonna have a hell of a December. It's not gonna be nice for you guys. I have to book flights with this money and it's gonna be dry. I booked flights, went to Eastern Cape in the morning and then came back the same day. I took Unokolo with me and I flew her back with me to Johannesburg. Mind you, I'm taking a risk of taking somebody who has never been out of the province to another province, and this person is epileptic. What happens when she gets seizures along the way? What was I gonna do? And then I remember praying, saying, this needs to happen because if it doesn't happen, what's gonna happen to Nokol? Ndiyacela Thixo, I was begging that at least just keep it safe. May there never be any seizures because I was scared of the landing and the takeoffs. But nothing happened. We sat together and she had lost so much weight. And even there, I don't even blame my aunt and say maybe she was not taking care of. I know her situation and she did the best that she could with Unokono, and it really does not matter what state she was in at that time. So I went to fetch her. That is how we ended up in Johannesburg. And when my mother's coffin was going down, I knew that was the beginning of a life that I didn't anticipate, or I knew my life was going to change in ways that I have never imagined. So, by the grace of God, by the time I went to fetch her, we were staying in a two-bedroom. It was not enough for us. How much more when I brought Imogoli back? So all those challenges were on top of my shoulders. I needed to work. I mean, Joburg, we don't even have a family. We can't even call somebody and say we are out of salt, we are out of sugar, or this and that. We are on our own. I am carrying Unokolo, I am carrying my brother, I am carrying my kids. I am in the middle of a divorce that is on standstill. It's not moving and it is hectic. I'm going up and down to maintenance courts. I'm exhausted to the core. And there are so many things that have piled up that I didn't even attend to. So I would be driving sometimes and then here I am crying along the way because there's a lot that I didn't deal with on the inside. So she came and stayed with us. And I remember her first hospital visit, I didn't have a car. She started getting sick, obviously. And I don't know what my mother's reason for not putting her on treatment, but I started her on treatment when she was here because things were really hectic. I don't want to make this episode so lengthy. I will come back and share maybe other challenges that we faced in this journey of caregiving. And yeah, yeah. Whew, one of the things that I've learned throughout this journey is that show up for others. Even though you have nobody who shows up for you, be present in other people's lives. And when life happens, make sure you don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself when life happens, because things will always happen. Things will always happen, and the things that we never saw coming. So, I'm wrapping up this episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So, it's a bye for now. Bye.